Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen again. This morning I'm going to put something together that used to be called a poor man's dinner, but it's so simple. It's just so simple. It's a cold Colorado day. It's 42 out right now. We're supposed to get snow, but we haven't got it yet. And so on those days, I like to put together something that's kind of warm in my tummy. And so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I've made a lot of different soups, and I've shown a few from my potato soup, my vegetable soup that I love to make. This is very similar. This can also be like a pot pie that you just have to thicken up the sauce, but you can make all of the ingredients and put in that. But I'm just going to make what's called a hamburger soup. And it is pretty simple. And so for those of you out there that have tried a hamburger soup and you like it, but you don't know how to make it, this is how you make it. Well, this is my version of it anyway. So get you a big pot, Dutch oven pot. Great big one. Turn the burner on and get you some hamburger. Now I'm not gonna put all this hamburger in there, of course. I'm gonna take a little bit of it out of here. I usually get the lean ground beef, but I couldn't find any. And this one, actually, I can't really even say, oh, it's 80% lean, 20% fat. And I'm only gonna use a little bit of it. I laid it out last night, but I didn't get it all the way defrosted. And that's okay, because I have shown you before that you can do this, that you're just going to take, I'm just going to take it off the parts that are defrosted. You're going to need about a pound of hamburger. So in this case of this one, which is, I didn't find that either here. This is 4.5 pounds, and I'm not going to use that much by any means on the hamburger. You take whatever hamburger you want. This is going to cook up real fast, I can tell, because it is a finer hamburger. So about that much in your pot will do just fine. Let me set this out of the way and wash off my hand just for a minute here. I'm getting that off of me. Okay, and also into the pot, you're going to need a little bit of garlic. You can use the whole garlic cloves, or you can use, what I like are these minced garlics that you can buy and keep in your refrigerator. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to take probably about a teaspoon of that and put in there. That'll be nice. And then I'm going to take an onion. Always have to have an onion. Nice, sweet yellow onion. I like yellow onions, I really do. Got my puppy dog down here. I wonder if he'd like a little onion. Cocoa bean, a little onion. Try that. Always something to shut them up, huh? Don't know if that's good for a dog or not. Sweet onion. Don't think it'll hurt him. Oh, it's a little sharp there. Didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Gotta watch what I'm doing instead of the puppy dog. You know, you just want to mince this up until you have little pieces, because it is going into the pot. If you like a lot of onion in what you're cooking, then go ahead and put a lot of onion. I said about, I don't know, probably 1/4 cup of onions. Just enough in there to fill, unless you like a lot of onion. Then go ahead with a lot more. Now you want to cook this until, yes, the onion is transparent. Yes, your hamburger is all cooked up. And then if your meat needs to be drained from any fat, go ahead and do that. I'm going to let this cook and pop back on when it's finished, that part of it. Okay, I'm back, and the hamburger has cooked with the onions and the garlic. It now looks like this because I have drained all the grease off of it. Very, very important. Not only drained, but rinsed it off with hot water to get all that grease off of there. Okay, so now you're gonna take, about 2 cups of potatoes. And I like to do mine fresh, so if you will bear with me here, I'll just kind of get these cut up into the bowl here and slice these and get them going. Now, I have had hamburger soup where people have left the skins on the potatoes when they go ahead and cut it up, and that's okay too. You know, skins really do give hamburger a nice flavor. So I cut it in half, cut that half again, and just start dicing like that. That's kind of how I do it. If you want to put it on your cutting board and do it separate, that's fine too. But you need to get these going so that cooking so that they get nice and soft. Or you may like them a little tiny bit of a crunch in there. That's what I kind of like. Just a little bit of a crunch to them. I said this, what's called a poor man's dinner of hamburger, anything that you're using with hamburger, used to be the cheapest meat in the grocery store that you could buy. Well, not anymore. That bag, or the bundle that I bought of the 4.5 pounds cost me a little over $20. Now, isn't that ridiculous for beef? And chicken is the same way, and any kind of beef, whether it's a steak, whether it's stew meat, whatever, it's all gone up in price, all of it. So what used to be that you could take hamburger and make it go a long ways, and I did. I cooked a lot of hamburger over the years raising my family. It's almost as like buying a steak. It really is. Within about $5. I mean, you can go buy a $25 steak at the grocery store. Yes, not out to dinner, at the grocery store. Or spend $20 and get a great big thing of hamburger. At least you're getting a couple of meals with the hamburger versus one night of a steak dinner. But this I just thought was kind of appropriate today because it's just kind of a, overcast, gloomy day, and I didn't want chili, and I didn't want other kinds of soups, a potato soup or any of that. I thought, you know what? I'll just do this nice hamburger soup. And I like it. I really do like it. We'll stick this in here. See what you think of it. So after I get this one peeled and done, I'll be right back. Okay. Now, I've got the potatoes in here. I'm going to sit them, so there's just about that much to kind of equal parts from your hamburger to your potato. And that's kind of what we want. Okay, then what I'm going to take is, now normally I take diced tomatoes, but I just didn't have any in the house. So I'm going to go ahead with my stewed tomatoes. These are just regular. They are not the Italian that I always like. And that's okay. I'm just going to take these and put in here to begin with. And I could take a knife and I could cut them up just a little bit so that they do look like diced tomatoes in here. Can always do that. When in a pinch, you use what you have in your pantry. And this particular soup, there's another expression for this soup of everything but the kitchen sink is in here, and that's so true. You can put all kinds of things in here. Now we need some liquid in here, so it's either 2 cups of a canned broth, or I do have a box of my beef broth, and that's what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to go ahead and pour this whole thing in, because this is going to give it nice flavor. So we need to get those potatoes started cooking. So I turn my fire up on pretty much high to get that started. go in here. And then in this recipe, it calls for, the one I have anyway, it calls for 1 teaspoon of the Worcester sauce. And really don't leave that out. And if you want more, which I'm going to add one more, I'm going to add one more because I like that flavor. I really do. Then I had some lima beans that I'm going to go ahead and put in this recipe. But lima beans do have a juice to them. So I'm gonna drain out. Every now and then things make a mess in your kitchen, don't they? This was one of them today. Add some lima beans in there. You can add whatever you like in your soup. I'll be right back. I'm back. I have cleaned up the mess that splattered all over me from the lima beans of the juice. But that's okay. It's all right. Now I'm going, and I added my Worcester sauce. I've added the lima beans, and now we're going to take 1 can of Yes tomato soup. See if I can open this without having it splatter all over the place. Things happen in the kitchen, don't they? It's okay. It's all part of cooking. At least it wasn't this going all over my face and arm and down the side of the cabinet and onto the floor. Isn't there a song called that? Oh, here, old Smokey. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Gonna get that in there, mixed in. Yeah, that's giving it the nice red color that we want. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of parsley. Just about a teaspoon of it. And we're going to add a little bit of basil. Do this. That gives it our nice spices that we need. And of course, we'll add the salt and pepper. Now on the broth, you can get salted or unsalted. If you're adding salt now, go ahead and get the one that is not salted because that's an awful lot of salt in your soup. Now what I recommend on this soup is like anything else. You have to let those potatoes get nice and soft. So go ahead and let this, bring it to a good boil and then turn it down and let it simmer for a good 30 minutes, even longer if you want to. This is a slow process, one that, you know, you can even put this in a crock pot. This is a wonderful soup. So I'll be back after this gets a good boil to add the last ingredient. Okay, I have let this cook for just a little while on a boil. Then I turned it down again. And now I'm going to add mixed vegetables, a 16-ounce bag or 2 cups of mixed vegetables. Go ahead and stick all of that in there. If you like more vegetables in there, then add more. But this is a big pot, you know, it's pretty good size, and this is going to make a lot, which is going to be tasty. Again, put your lid back on, continue with having it simmer. Boil first and then simmer, and then when this gets to where I just kind of like those potatoes and I know that everything's cooked real well, I'll pop back on and show you what it looks like in the end and what I'm going to have with it. Okay, I've let my hamburger soup cook for quite a little while right now, so let's bring it on over and see what it looks like. It smells very good. It really does. I swear I'm going to have my husband take off some more on the legs of these bar stools. I just can't get up here. My little sign of what to be grateful for today. It says gratitude creates happiness. And it really does. I am very grateful for everything right now in my life. And on a cold day, winter day, because it's still winter here, I don't know about the little animal that comes out to see his shadow. Oh, he just never does. And it's always 6 more weeks of winter, and it's still winter here. It's cold. We're going to have snow. And so on a nice cold day, I like something like this. I really do. So I put mine in a nice deep bowl. I really do. I made some cornbread earlier. This morning I made it. And I think cornbread always goes with any kind of soup, really. It really does. So I'm going to have that with my nice soup today. And you can too. Put whatever you want in your soup of your, it's very similar, like I said, to just a beef vegetable soup, only you are using Hamburger. Whether you use sirloin steak, whether you use stew meat, you know, whatever you decide to use, it is gonna go in the pot and have pretty much all of the ingredients, just like all the rest of them. And this one today, I think is gonna be very tasty. I'll taste just a little because it's very, very hot. Yeah, that's gonna work today. Just right, just enough spices. 1 teaspoon of the parsley, 1 teaspoon of the basil. That's really all you need. A little salt and pepper. And I've got a nice winter soup of my Hamburger soup, the poor man's soup, that you can put, like I said, anything you want in here. Sometimes I don't have the lima beans, but today I did, and it was a small little can, so why not? So from my kitchen to yours, go make yourself some soup. You'll be glad, you'll be grateful that you did. I'll catch you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane. Bye-bye now.